So I was being about the Canadian government's inefficiencies in where they invest money for future growth. A lot of it has to do with the arts and culture industry, and a lot of it has to do with tourism as well. And as you can see, a major part. If Americans were to stay home next few years and visit Florida, visit Puerto Rico instead of Cuba. Imagine going to Puerto Rico instead of Cuba. Imagine instead of going to Paris, you go to Las Vegas. You can rebuild those places that's been hurt either by hurricanes or terrorism, right? So so that's the power of the American tourist vacationer. So back to Canada's government spending, wasting money on some things. I mean, Canada, the base of Canada's economy is still natural resources, and so they're trying. And natural resources is something that is so plentiful that it supplies the entire Canadian market, and then some, But other industries, not so much. Maybe finance is like that because it comes from natural resources, the sale of natural resources. So natural resources in Canada are so plentiful, it would supply every Canadian. It supplies the entire country, and then there's still lots left to export. And then the money you make from natural resources is so plentiful, it would supply the entire Canadian market. And then there's enough left to export, lend to foreign countries. Right? So natural resource finance, very strong in Canada. But other things, not so strong. And so they're trying to turn the arts and entertainment film industry into a natural resource, we're not talking about all they do is the statistics they cite are the production numbers. Like this year, Hollywood turned out 500 movies and we turned out 400 movies. For a small country, that's pretty good. I mean, those are silly numbers because when we're talking about satisfying the market, we're talking about every Canadian watching Canadian movies first, and it's nowhere near that. And yet, let's say if Hollywood creates 500 movies a year, and Canada creates 400, most of that is intended to be exported, to be sold to Europe, to Asia, United States. So it's not like a product that's in demand even in our own country. And even the broadcasters who are sort of told by the government to try to buy more Canadian produced movies and shows are coming back saying, look, these aren't satisfying the consumer, right? These aren't satisfying the consumer. So Canadian, the film arts and culture is nowhere even anything like natural resources, because oil everybody wants, money everybody wants, but these movies they're making, even our own distributors coming back and say nobody wants this stuff, nobody's watching this stuff. Maybe for every we got five Canadian series on Canadian TV. That percentage is only 5 series that people are actually watching. Anna Green, a redux of remake of Anna Green Gables and Murdoch Mysteries, a period piece. And that's the cornerstone of this whole the other 400 movies and stuff. Movies and films not a natural resource. We're going back to the 80s when we sold cartoons to Europe and we made family friendly kid shows that if you dub it makes no difference. you know. So and then it's like, well, we're competitive, but look at Australia. Australia is very competitive. Australia's huge competitive. You know, the girl with dragon tattoo. I think that came from what, Norway or Denmark. Huge book, right? I'm not even going to talk about like big countries like Britain with Harry Potter and stuff and Doctor Who and stuff. I'm just talking small countries like Australia. Australia is huge for film and culture, right? Nobody wants their stuff. Everybody wants their stuff, actually. It goes down very easily. And then girl with dragon tattoo, that came from Denmark, like a little tiny country. That's a huge product, right? Is Will and Grace Canadian? Come on, seriously. We're just exporting people. But if you want a whole business, like trying to make films like a natural resource, forget about it. You have to get the formula down where every Canadian wants to watch it. And then that'll take care of itself. It's like, you know, up in Canada, we got amazing shows. But everybody, even the buyers, forced to buy this stuff. Like, you know, we're not forced to, but told to. So like reminded to, it's like, look, nobody wants this stuff. You know, it's not, film's not a natural resource, even though we're trying to make it a natural resource. You know, it's movies and films is art, right? Art's not really a natural resource. I mean, it comes from people, right? But you know what I mean? Like tons of graduates every year in art school, but only a few. Like, oh, which reminds me of this funny story, right? This heiress in Canada, you know, heiress in Canada, oil heiress, whatever, right? When she passed away, she donated 200 Annie Leibovitz photos. You know, Annie Leibovitz, not Canadian. Annie Leibovitz, New Yorker, Jewish New Yorker, American. So this Canadian heiress donated 200 Annie Leibovitz photos to a art gallery in Nova Scotia. The worth was like $20 million. It's so small. The art gallery is the size of my apartment. Imagine giving me $20 million in like art. So they're so paranoid, eh? Yeah, this Canadian heiress, when she passed, she left like 200 Annie Leibovitz photos to an art gallery the size of my apartment. Imagine like somebody gave you that. It's like you'd be so paranoid. Like it's like somebody gave you the Mona Lisa for like your apartment. You'd be so fucking paranoid, man. I think they're so paranoid. Well, they're gonna put on tour, of course, and make money for that little gallery in that town. That's the art business, right? You have a collection like that, you put it on tour, it goes around the world, right? Raises money for the art gallery and community and whatever, right? Right. But just imagine, right? When I first read that article, it's like, if somebody gave you the Mona Lisa for your fucking apartment, you'd be so paranoid, right? That must be how they felt. But Annie Liu was a Jewish American New Yorker, not even Canadian. You can't make art into a natural resource, possible.